Look like Tasha K finna get sued one more again. Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today. Brother Bilal is making an allegation that Will Smith participated in anal sex with actor Duane Martin. Now, on the Tasha K show, Brother Bilal was promoting a tell-all book revealing secrets about the Academy Award-winning actor, and as he was revealing secrets about Will Smith, he made the allegation that Will Smith had participated in anal sex with actor Duane Martin while they were on the set of the UPN show All of Us. Now, according to Brother Bilal, he alleges that he was looking for Will Smith to relay some information to him, and as he was looking for Will Smith, he went into the dressing room of Duane Martin, and as he went into the dressing room of Duane Martin, he found Will Smith and actor Duane Martin participating in anal sex, and according to Brother Bilal, he says that Duane Martin was murdering Will Smith's backside as he was sodomizing him. Now, Brother Bilal claims that he was completely shocked to see Will Smith participating in this sodomy, and he was shocked to see this entire event transpire in front of him, and didn't really speak about this event until he decided to write this tell-all book and look to go out here and promote it. And as I've heard this information, I have to ask a critical question. Who in white supremacy did Will Smith piss off for this type of information to be presented about him to further smear his already tarnished reputation? That's the critical question I have to ask for a book like this to even get to the marketplace, because usually any publisher out here wouldn't even think about looking to publish this kind of book, because there was no way to substantiate this kind of information, and no publisher would really want to publish this book because this type of book would possibly lead to a slander lawsuit. And you would think that Tasha K would also be thinking critically before allowing somebody like Brother Bilal to come on her show after dealing with 2 lawsuits as related to slander. I mean, you have Tasha K, who recently just got a $4 million judgment levied against her by singer Cardi B, who says that she was slandered, and Tasha K has been scrambling to hide all of her assets to keep Cardi B from being able to seize them as related to that $4 million judgment. Moreover, there is singer R. Kelly, who is in federal prison, who has also filed a federal slander lawsuit against her. So you would think Tasha K would be a bit more discreet before going out here and presenting these kinds of allegations as related to the reputation of celebrities, because if you cannot substantiate this information with valid sources, then you're putting yourself on the road to being sued if that information is presented. Now, after this information was presented, Will Smith did make a statement, and he made the statement right after his wife Jada Pinkett made the statement that we are suing. And when Jada Pinkett made the statement, we suing, that has me scratching my head, because I thought Jada Pinkett and Will Smith were separated ever since 2016, as stated in her book, which is her so-called memoir, Worthy. Now, all of a sudden, we've got Jada Pinkett speaking for Will Smith, and as she speaks for Will Smith, she says, we are suing as related to this possible slander. But this whole situation with this whole allegation about Will Smith and Duane Martin basically shows how weak Will Smith is as a man, and it shows how weak he is as a man, because here we have Brother Bilal coming from the back looking to go out here and make this attack on Will Smith's reputation. And the saddest part is it shows how weak Will Smith is, because he wasn't the first to come out here and make a statement as related to this allegation. No, the person to come out and make a statement regarding this allegation first was his either separated or wife, Jada Pinkett, and that really shows how weak Will Smith is as a man, that he cannot go out here and mount a defense for himself as related to this allegation of him participating in a sex act with Duane Martin. I mean, if somebody goes out here and makes a claim about a man, that man should be the first one to be the one to defend himself. But Will Smith has been coming from a position of weakness ever since it was revealed that his then so-called separated wife, Jada Pinkett, was participating in an entanglement with August Alsina. And ever since he was emasculated on the Red Table Talk by his own wife, Will Smith has been coming from a position of weakness, and things have gotten so bad for Will Smith in the aftermath of the infamous slap that took place at the Oscars that you have not only Jada Pinkett looking to humiliate and emasculate Will Smith, but you have people who were a part of his inner circle looking to further humiliate and emasculate him, because Will Smith has not shown that he is looking to take his respect as a man. And when you allow people to disrespect you, guess what? That allows even more people to go out here and believe that they have a right to disrespect you. And that's what's happening here with Will Smith, because now that people see that Jada can get away with disrespecting him, this is where you have people like brother Bilal looking to come in and further disrespect him by going out here and presenting a story that maligns his reputation. And the reason why brother Bilal is coming out with this story is because he sees how weak Will Smith is as a man, and because he sees how weak Will Smith is as a man, he believes that he can now come from the backside with this entire story about Will Smith getting his backside murdered by Duane Martin, and believe he can get away with presenting this story in the pages of a tell-all book, and wouldn't have done this before because he knew that if he had done it before, the major Hollywood studios would have destroyed him, because they had a lot invested in Will Smith. But because Will Smith is completely pathetic at this point and no one respects him, this is how this kind of story could go to print from a publisher, and Will Smith would have to deal with all of the blowback regarding it, because usually with A-list actors, studios make an effort to try to protect them in these kinds of situations, and they make every effort to protect them in these situations because they have millions and hundreds of millions of dollars invested in the projects that they have them starring in. So if something is going on, they would possibly look to cover up that action as related to the story by telling their major publishers not to cover that story and not to publish anything regarding that information. But in this case, you have brother Bilal slipping this book through in a publishing system that would have caught it and basically shut it down with a kill fee. But they let this story go live, and this story going live just shows how bad Will Smith's reputation is in Hollywood, and just shows how weak he is as a man. Now, this whole situation is one that is quite troubling, because Will Smith is being emasculated all around by his wife, and now by this guy, brother Bilal, who not only went on to say that Will Smith was getting his backside murdered by Duane Martin, but also says that Will Smith's genitals were small like a pinky toe. And all of these statements, again, all of these statements are meant to humiliate and emasculate this black man and take away his manhood and his dignity. And if I were Will Smith, I would have been the first one coming out, because that would have been the thing to protect his image as a man. Now, he did come out with a statement, but that was passive. No, a man in this case has to come out actively with a statement from himself, face to face with the public, to say that these claims that are made are unsubstantiated. And then he has to go out here and start filing a slander lawsuit against the publisher of said tell-all book and to the Tasha K show, because this is a clear and open case of slander if there are no facts to substantiate anything here as related to this entire incident alleged in this book. I mean, it's bad enough that we have Jada Pinkett out here fabricating things in her memoir worthy regarding the legacy of Will Smith and the legacy of the late Tupac Shakur. And this whole sordid situation is embarrassing all around for everyone. And this whole situation with this whole Brother Bilal situation further exacerbates an entirely more embarrassing situation for Will Smith, who sadly is proving Eddie Griffin's point about Hollywood and black men, in that saying that any black man who goes to Hollywood doesn't leave clean. And it looks like somebody in white supremacy is making every effort to make sure that Will Smith leaves Hollywood in the dirtiest fashion, as this whole situation with his career goes from a state of decline into a complete free fall. Because when I look at Will Smith, he was at the pinnacle of his career at the 2022 Oscars. He had won the Oscar for King Richard, playing Richard Williams, a rare positive role for a black man to win an Oscar for, and all of that wound up getting tarnished by him getting emotional and slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. And now, in the aftermath of him slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars, his career has gone into a decline after his wife has just further emasculated him by saying that she didn't love him and didn't have any respect for him and and didn't really want to marry him, and also going out here and professing love for the man, for a dead man, Tupac Shakur. And this latest incident is the latest embarrassment for this assistant to come out here and say that he was out here getting sodomized by another man. I mean, while Will Smith may have an open marriage, according to some that are claimed, this entire incident, again, is one that just further destroys his professional reputation and his personal image. And that's why I have to wonder, who did he piss off in Hollywood for them to humiliate and destroy him like this in their media? But even with that going on, I again have to ask the critical question, regarding Tasha K. Why would you go out here and put this guy on your platform? Yeah, it'll get you clicks and views, but you're going to have to pay all of that ad money to another lawsuit, because this kind of claim is one that can't be substantiated by actual records, and this entire claim is one that people usually wouldn't want to publish because it's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And that's where I have to scratch my head about Tasha K, who is still dealing with the aftermath of the Cardi B lawsuit. Why would you go out here and put a guy on your show and have him make such an outlandish claim? Because you would think, if you're a person who is with an entertainment show, one of the things you would want to do is be able to substantiate all of your facts before you go to air, because that's something that I do before I even look to make any video about either a celebrity or any sort of event. One of the things I want to do is check multiple sources to make sure that that event is one that is substantiated, because the last thing you want to do is wind up in the middle of a lawsuit. Moreover, even if I do go to air, I use words like alleged, because alleged means that this may or may not have happened and is legal protection. This is what you have to do before you go to air on any sort of claim, because unless that person has hard evidence to say that this has happened, in a video, or this case has gone through a court, you cannot go out here and say that something happened. And that's where I have to scratch my head about Tasha K, who you would think would have learned her lesson as related to Cardi B and R. Kelly's lawsuits about going after celebrities, that you cannot just go out here and say any sort of thing, especially with a guy like Will Smith, who is worth over $100 million. He has the money and the resources to basically sue Tasha K into the ground regarding this kind of claim. And I cannot say that this claim has any sort of substance just yet, because there's no substantiation of it outside of Brother Bilal's observations, allegedly, because we don't have any sort of proof from somebody like Duane Martin to say that this happened. So I would have to be very careful about making those kinds of statements. And I just wonder what's wrong with Tasha K that she doesn't have that kind of care. You have to have that kind of care before you go to air. This is something I've learned in my over 25 years of studying the entertainment industry. You have to be very careful about this whole situation. But this whole situation, once again, shows how weak Will Smith is, that one of these outliers now feels that he can go out here and actively disrespect him by going out here in the coward's way, because it is quite cowardly to go out here and produce your tell-all book after Jada Pinkett's tell-all book basically failed as at the New York Times bestseller list and only sold maybe about 2,700 copies, showing the world that the world is tired of Will Smith, something that I even saw with my YouTube views on videos about Will Smith. People are tired of Will Smith, and they're tired of seeing how pathetic that this man is, and that he won't push back, he won't stand up for himself, he won't stand up like a man. And sadly, this whole situation shows how people will pile on a man who is weak, because he won't stand up for himself and stand up and say that he is a man and take his respect as a man. Because when guys go out here and can make statements like this, it's, again, them feeling that they don't have to respect Will Smith as a man. And Will Smith, I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's got to start standing up like a man before people just crush him straight into the ground. Now, if you want to learn how to avoid winding up becoming pathetic like Will Smith and in a pathetic situation like Will Smith, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to learn how to avoid predatory women like Jada Pinkett Smith, you can pick up my book, Stop Simpin', Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simpin' at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you'd like to see me do more videos about the entertainment industry and celebrities, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS, All About the Goddess. The Goddess Next Door bears all in the art studio to catch a campus stalker in this action-packed ISIS series mystery. Get your copy of ISIS, All About the Goddess in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.